I don't vibe code anymore. In fact, I stopped a very long time ago. And the main reason is because I figured out a system to harness Claude Code to implement features properly the first time around. And now there is a plugin that automates this entire system. It forces Claude to think, design, and even show me visual mockups before it implements a single line of code. And I've been using it for more than 6 months for my projects and to build my own platform in a record amount of time. So let me show you how I use it. So before I show you the plugin, I'll give you a quick clarification because Anthropic just launched something called Claude Design. And so Claude Design is more of a visual design tool. It makes prototypes, slides, decks. So think of it more as a Figma competitor. And if I'm completely honest, in some way, Claude Design is on its way to take a few bites from Figma. So I'm not sure if they have to be careful, but definitely have their eyes wide open. And yeah, that's Claude Design. So still very, very helpful. But Superpowers is something a bit different. Superpowers is more of a software development methodology, and it changes how Claude Code thinks before it builds, it implements any code. So they're two completely different things. In fact, they actually complement each other. You can design in Claude Design. You can design something from scratch. So in a similar way, I teach how to start your design of your tool or whatever app you're building using Google Stitch. You can instead use Claude Design, right? They're very good design tools to prepare mockups and prototypes. And then once you're done, you can pass that design and push it onto Superpowers or Claude Code with the Superpowers plugin. So yeah, pretty powerful. And regarding the Superpowers plugin, it's a community plugin built by a guy called Jesse Vincent, and I think as we speak, it has somewhere around nearly 160 stars. So it's definitely a very popular plugin, I would say. Actually, it's in the official Anthropic marketplace, and you can install it in around 10 seconds with this command over here. So if you just add in Klub plugins add superpowers on your terminal, it should get added. And it gives you 14 skills that you see over here: planning, debugging, TDD, which stands for test driven development, code review, parallel sub agents, which is very, very, very useful. The way they orchestrate this in the background so that they dispatch sub agents to implement a feature in parallel so that, you obviously reduce the amount of time to have that feature prepared is incredible. You know how you had, well, I've seen a lot of videos more in the past, but I think it's still happening, of some dudes flexing that they have 4 windows open at the same time with different Claude Code instances all running, a feature or something in the background. Well, this is all packaged automatically by this skill. And it's actually a much smarter, more effective way to do it via the plugins and the skills, because I believe that unlike this very manual method where you probably have to perform a lot of complex setup, this one, first of all, you don't have to go through all of this stuff, or this weird setup that you have to do. But aside from that, it also considers any dependencies between the different features that get dispatched to the different subagents. So let me explain that. So let's say we run subagent 1 and subagent 2, and we have them develop a feature for the course section of my platform, right, where we're hosting our courses. Cool. We have this one that is developing the video editor for that so that we can upload our lessons and so on and so on. So this video editor is going to appear inside my course page, right? When I hit a course as a host, let's say, I create a lesson, and then inside a lesson, I might want to upload a video, and this video editor is going to appear there. So these somewhat are related to each other. The problem with this is that the agents might not have an understanding with each other what dependencies there are within the features that they're building. So there might be a chance that they develop some code that is duplicate or some code which doesn't consider each other's features that they're building. And so for this scenario, it's much better to just have one agent developing the features in some sort of waterfall method, right? So first, let's develop the courses section, and then let's develop the video editor, right? Step by step. We do it one by one. So Superpower plugin detects this. It understands, it does thorough research on the code base or on the code that it wants to develop or that we should develop. And it understands what features are kind of crossing with each other or dependent on each other. And so if this happens, it will not send it to separate subagents. But if these tasks are not dependent on each other, then it will throw around different subagents to finish the task. Because if we can implement features that are not related with each other, well, we can just have different sub-agents develop it, and we just cut the amount of time that it takes to get all those features done, instead of having to go through it step by step in some sort of cascade. If they're not related with each other, then why wait? Let's just dispatch the sub-agents to just finish it in a third of the time. And so that's the whole sub-agent driven development, right? So we can coordinate subtasks. And yeah, this is related to this one. So sub-agent driven development, we can just launch these parallel sub-agents. So we can do, perform 2+ tasks at one. So we can just do things much quicker. But doing it this way is obviously much better than just showing off that you have 4 different Claude Code instances running at the same time, which I've honestly never done. I don't know if it's effective at all. Maybe some of you have tried this and maybe you can tell me, but I don't see the value add. I actually think it's much worse, especially for your attention. To have to attend to so many different things at the same time. I think your focus is going to drop and you're not going to be able to just do things properly if you have 4 different windows. But anyways, just drop it down in the comments if you've actually found this a productive use of your time. Hey, just wanted to pause the video for a second to let you know that you can access all of the resources in this video and all the other videos I make in this channel inside my free community. So I will leave a link to that below this video. You also get access to a large network of businesses and professionals building and learning everything that there is about the AI space. So yeah, go ahead and join my free community. See you there. The other thing that I like about this plugin is that it really pushes for test-driven development over here. And so this plugin enforces disciplined practices like red, green, refactor, okay? And these are test-driven development cycles where tests must fail before implementation, okay? And then some fancy words. So the whole thing around this is that we are building code and then we're actively trying to break it before we say that the code is, good, is ready to go. So we first try to break it. And this is amazing. This is amazing. This is how usual software development works, or should work, at least in my opinion. So especially when you're not a developer yourself and you're trying to use Claude Code. And so this is probably the best thing that non-developers should use, because we're actually forcing the agent to break the code before moving on. So very, very, very useful. Right, now let me show you how I use this on real projects, especially the brainstorming skill. This is probably the one that I like the most. This one compiles a few things. So it's design and research before you code, explores edge cases. But the coolest thing is that it proposes mockups in the middle of you researching how you're going to approach the UI and UX. It just generates HTML for you so that you can quickly visualize how this is going to look. So you don't have to go back into any separate design tool like Claude Design or Figma or whatever. You can just do this inline inside Claude Code, which is really, really smart and really useful. So I'm working currently on a project. It's this community platform. And this is a very exciting project for me. It's a really cool project that I am building solo. And the first part of this is actually on my YouTube channel. One of the previous videos that I made was literally building this from scratch with you guys. This is the second part of it, because I know many of you were asking to see this. So here you go. This is where I'm at right now. And yeah, I intend to host my private community inside this platform. How cool is that? That's why I'm so excited for this. I'll be hosting my own private community inside my own platform. So that's why I've been waiting so long for the private community. I know there's many people already with their own communities, but this one is going to be special. And that's why I've been waiting for so long. So stay updated with this project because it's going to be really exciting. And yeah, so basically with the Superpowers plugin, I'm working on batches, right? And let's say one of the batches was to create the classroom section over here. Obviously, we went through some research with Claude Code and the Superpowers plugin. I was proposed with I did describe how I want it. It went and did its research. We got some inspiration as well. Claude Code went and with the skills from Superpowers plugin, it proposed some designs. So it started asking me questions and one of the things was that it started using it's called a visual companion. It's within the brainstorming skills. So this one, let me see. So this one over here that you see over here. So whenever I'm prompting it to create a feature, I just tell it to please use the Superpowers plugin throughout the research and the ideation and implementation. And so it will take it into account just to make sure. You can also add it into the Claude.md so that it always does it, but I just remind it anyways. It doesn't take me too long to just prompt it. And yeah, and so once it does that, at some point it will spawn this kind of visual companion that generates HTML with a few options. It really depends, but sometimes it's much longer. So this was for a very specific feature for the card section. So how it would look. It just says, oh, I spun up an HTML on localhost 57. It chooses a port. And then it says, okay, go ahead, click and choose the one that you like. In most cases, this one was a bit different, but in most cases, it gives you options and then you can just go ahead and click whichever you want. It gives you also the pros and cons and so on. And yeah, this is really cool. This is really cool. The fact that, you know, it proposes some designs, you can choose between them. If you don't like them, you can just go back. It's going to spin up some other designs and then you can just guide yourself with Claude Code visually. I really like this brainstorming feature. It's really, really good. I think we could try it with this one. Okay, this is a bit less of a serious tool. I could call this my dumpster project. And yeah, let's try implement a new feature from scratch. Let's think about a feature now. I have a feature in mind, so let's go ahead and figure it out with the superpowers. All right, so here you see I quickly asked Claude Code to just give me a list of the skills, so you can see it over here and group them. Process skills, evoke before doing work, execution skills, review and completion skills. It's already pretty smart to just decide when to use which. I just tell it, you know, use the superpower skills to help with the ideation, development, and research. And so what I'm going to do here is just raw dog it, to be honest. And this is what we have. So I'm just going to create a new section. So I'm thinking about adding a new section, a new page on the existing app, which is going to be some sort of drag and drop builder, some sort of canvas, so that we can create stories and videos with AI powered video models. So I would like to get some inspiration from this tool called FreePick, which is a tool that is essentially this. It's an open canvas that has some sort of cards and connectors within this canvas space. I would like you to research this, research best practices as well for implementing a feature like this on our existing code base, and for you to please use the superpowers skills to do all the research, ideation, and propose me some designs within the visual companion so that we can move forward with this. So let's add that. And let's also add let's first plan this. So go ahead, do the research, then we'll plan it, then we'll write the specs, and then we will implement it. So go ahead and do that. All right, so I'm not using Opus 4.7. I know it recently came out, but let me know, guys. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews for that. And well, okay, so we are using the brainstorming skill to explore project context, offer visual companion, ask clarifying questions, propose 2 to 3 approaches, present design, write design doc, spec, and spec review. For all of the projects that I've run with the Superpowers plugin, it actually goes through this process, which is, I think, pretty smart to keep all the designs for all the features very consistent and to plan all the features honestly properly. So it first comes up with the plan file, puts the dates. I tend to go in batches, right? So we plan a lot well in advance. So we try to pre-plan the batches on how the general idea is for developing all the features. So in batch 1, we do maybe batch 15. And then as we go, we might change the batches, we might change the order, but it's fine. At least we have a first picture. But it doesn't matter. As we keep going batch by batch, we prepare the plans for the next batch, right? Before we implement it. So within the plan, we have a spec. You have a spec. And for the spec, it asks us to go ahead and go into the MD file. So this is just saving a lot of tokens. And this is amazing because it gives you the designs, all the buttons, all the gradients, all the colors for the specific elements and the specific features that are going to be built for that feature, for the classroom section. All the sizes, all everything is already pre-planned. So whenever the agent needs to look at the specific specs for the sizes of the buttons and all that, it already has a document that it can look for. So this just helps with context. It helps keep everything consistent. And this is a very, very effective method to do so. The way they are organizing and sharing context and documentation around is really, really smart. Very simple and very smart. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. So it reached the visual companion, which is honestly what I wanted to show you. The rest you can just do yourself. But yes, let's say I want to open a local URL. And it's just going to show me what I put together. And I think doing it via a visual way, it's much better than just seeing it through text. So it's telling me to go to port 56032. So we can just go ahead, open localhost 56, was it? 032. Okay, so this is the Brainstorm companion, it's a visual companion, and we're waiting for the agent to push a screen. Now it's just telling me to answer some questions. So what is the primary mental model you want for this canvas? So the storyboard canvas, AI generation workflow, freeform design canvas. So it's an open canvas or a hybrid storyboard generation. So, okay, let's think about this. Well, so I spawned this version of the visual companion. So there's two main ways in which the visual companion can be used. So the first one, so both of them are used to select a choice. At least that's what I've seen. And this one is more of a comparison table kind of thing. And the other way is to choose between UI designs, which is what I find it the most useful. I wasn't sure which canvas approach I should take for the feature, so it just gave me a little comparison table. So now I'm choosing this one, option D. I want to go with option D, which is this hybrid one. So I selected it. And so it's gonna go ahead and just do this. And then I'll show you the other type of visual companion, which is the most useful for me. And what you see here, okay, is the second way in which the visual companion gets shown. And this is the useful one, the most useful one in my opinion. So this is a design decision that I have to make. And as you can see over here, okay, let me explain what my thought process is. So Claude Code asked me, okay, so what are the core objects to see on the canvas? And it said scene cards only, whatever, shot cards, whatever. And I'm like, I'm thinking somewhere between C and D, but maybe we could get a visual companion for this. So through text, it's really hard for me to visualize what Claude Code thinks. So I'm trying to cut that down, cut that dissonance potential for, misinterpreting what Claude Code says by adding some visuals. And now it's super clear for me. So now I can choose the right option. Okay, well, the way I want to add this feature is the following. In a similar way that this one, for example, okay, this is how I want it to look. Normally presents me another option and then I choose the one. Okay, I want to go for this course card. I like it. Generate me another one. So for here, I'm like, okay, for example, this one works. Okay, great. And then I just go ahead and I continue with the design until it designs the doc and the spec review and user approval. And then once approved, I actually read the Markdown file, which I recommend, or just have it, I talk to it with Claude Code to confirm, then it's gonna go ahead and implement it. So that's all I wanted to show. I mean, the rest you can figure out yourself and talk back and forth with Claude Code. I just wanted to show you how useful the visual companion is for all this process, and also the process that it follows as a whole with all the design docs and specs and how consistent it is to keep the UI UX as well. And yeah, I find it really useful and I'm actually using it myself. And this is not like some demo that I'm just gonna ditch afterwards. I've shown you real projects that I'm working on. And that's all I wanted to show for this video. I hope you found value in this video. And yeah, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are interested in joining the private community where I will be sharing pretty much everything that I build with Claude Code, like real projects that are getting out there. So right now I currently have ConvertChat. We have testers, and yeah, we're gonna roll it out properly pretty soon and run marketing strategies and sales strategies. I'm gonna be documenting all of that inside my private community. I'll also be documenting the build of the community platform where I'll be hosting my private community. So it's a cool inception there. So if you want to see all of this, it's going to be really interesting. I want to get the best builders out there inside the community. We're going to all just grind together, build together. So if you're interested in joining this community that I'm going to launch soon, I'll leave you a form that you can fill out so that you can get access at an early bird discount. So that'll be there. Otherwise, you can just, for now, you can just also, you can fill that form and also join my free community where you can share whatever you want out there. I'll leave some free resources, including probably a guide on this and any other thing that you want. Just drop it down in the comments below. I can also drop it if possible. So that's pretty much it, man. Nothing else to say. So I'm gonna go sleep. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. See you in the next one.